Hello!
Hello! I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching Game of Tomes!
Game of Tomes!
We're going to be doing the reading habits tag created by Jasmine from the book Jazz.
We were tagged by Shanesi over at Nezzle, so...
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this one.
Me too.
Cool. What next? Oh, questions?
Alright.
Let's get into it.
Number 1. Do you have a certain place at home for reading? I do, and it's pretty much just my couch.
Me too.
I don't really... I would love to have like a little reading place.
Nook or something?
Yeah, sometimes I sit in the recliner, but mostly, which is just like right next to us, but mostly it's just my couch.
Yeah, me too. Or in bed if I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, that's me too.
Boring.
Yep.
Okay. Number 2. Bookmark or random piece of paper?
Bookmark. And actually,
Uh-huh.
bookmark that my mama makes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Look how adorable that is.
Well, since you're showing yours off.
Let me keep your place.
Today's random piece of paper is a water bill. So, there's that.
Number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages?
I read as much as I can read until I can't read anymore. And so I never stop. Oh, well, that's not true. I don't never stop. That's a good place to stop if I'm thinking about stopping at a chapter.
Right.
But if I just have a couple minutes to read, I'll read a couple minutes, and if it ends in the middle of a chapter,
then that's where.
Yeah.
I usually try to go to the end of a chapter, but especially if I'm busy or being a mom, having a bunch of other stuff to have to do,
Yes.
if your kid gets fussy, or then I just stop where I stop. And especially at night, I usually read until I'm
me too.
falling asleep,
That's what
and then
I
I have to stop wherever it is. I just can't do it.
Right. I've fallen asleep lots of times with the book on my face.
I fell asleep with my Kindle,
Oh, Kindle.
and I wake up and I'm like,
Christeena, do you eat or drink while reading?
yeah. If I'm wanting a snack, Nezzle said that she eats popcorn. I love popcorn, but sometimes I eat really buttery popcorn, and so my fingers, I'll have to hold it with one hand and only eat with the other one, or water or coffee. Yeah, not a lot, but if I'm just reading and I kind of want a snack. But as far as to eat, no, it's just too messy with my hands, and I don't want to touch the book.
Yeah. I usually get some water, ice water. I like to stay hydrated. We don't normally keep snacks in the house, so I don't really snack. I did snack the other day, and I had those Sweet 16 donuts, and I just ate the whole bag. I was like, oh, it was so good.
That's why you don't have snacks in the house?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Number 5, multitasking, music or TV while reading?
Definitely not TV. Definitely not music with words. I do like some music, but only if it matches what I'm reading.
Right. I would have to agree. A lot of times I'll put on a kid show for my kid, and I can read and tune that out because it's just I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
But as far as anything semi-interesting to me, I can't do it because then I'll be like,
That's funny.
Music, I also can't do anything with words. It's just, I can't do it. Too distracting.
Right. Okay. Do you read one book at a time or several at once?
Generally, I only read one book at a time. Because I feel like if I read a lot at once, it's just trying to divide up my time. I feel like it takes me a lot longer to finish them versus if I just read one, then I'm really dedicated to that one until I get it done. And the only exception would be when I lay down at night. I usually have a different book on my Kindle than I do reading a physical book itself during the daytime. But then on my Kindle, it's usually not one that I'm super interested, because mostly I read to kind of just put myself to sleep. And so I just read more classics at night and stuff like that. Also, they're free, so.
I'm usually listening to an audiobook when I'm not sitting down reading.
Right.
So when I clean or drive. And then I have a book. And sometimes I read more than one book at once. I've done that a few times, and that's fine, but normally I read just once.
Right.
One book, I mean.
Number 7, reading at home or everywhere. Generally, I only do it at home because if I go anywhere else, usually it's like to see family or like grocery shop or pay bills or something. So, no.
Yeah.
Just at home, really.
Same answer. I do take my book when I go places, and then if I'm in the car with my husband and my husband goes in somewhere, I'll read with the kids in the back or something.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I read somewhere else. When I was a teenager, I read everywhere.
A lot of places.
And I didn't care where I was or who was around me. And I wasn't off paying bills and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
The good old days.
Bygone era.
When we didn't care about anybody.
But ourselves and our reading. I remember this one time we were on vacation in D.C. and I was reading like the whole time and like not paying attention or being like participating with any. I was actually reading New Moon when it had just come out.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, if you do not stop reading that book, I will throw it out the window.
I kind of, as a mom though, I'd be like, stop it!
At the time I was like,
it's so mean. Yeah.
And then when she wasn't looking, I was like, opening the book.
But you were in D.C.
I know. Well, no. It wasn't. It was like at the hotel, in the vehicle. I was very engaged in the museums.
Right.
Yeah. Do you read out loud or silently in your head?
99% of the time, it's silently in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I reread the Harry Potter books, and a lot of the time I would read it out loud, because, like, my son was there, and so I was like, hey, you want mommy to read you some Harry Potter?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of depends, like, what mood I'm in, but usually it's in my head.
Me too. I have a similar answer. I read out loud if I'm having problems, like, paying attention.
Yeah.
And I'll read out loud. Sometimes I just feel like reading out loud. My husband and I used to read together, and we would read out loud to each other.
Oh, that's so
My mom and I
sweet.
used to read out loud to each other.
Yeah.
So I like reading out loud, but normally it's in my head.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, do you read ahead or even skip pages?
Never.
I really tried not to. Sometimes if a book is like really interesting, or complete opposite, sometimes if a book is super boring,
Yes.
I'm like have a really bad urge to just like, or even like the biggest urge I have is just to look at the very last page.
Oh my gosh.
And just read the very last sentence.
Why?
But I mean,
That's terrible.
I usually resist the urge, and I don't.
That's funny.
And I can't help but
I didn't know that about you.
like Nezzle. Keep those eyes up there. Keep them up.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time of like if something really big is happening or really slow of like either finding out okay what happens or okay when does something happen. You can always tell from the very last sentence of a book if it ends good or bad. Always tell. Always. Don't do it.
I don't.
I don't either. I try not to. I do pretty good if I'm not doing it, though, for the record.
That's good.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger...
Yeah. All the time?
All the time.
Question 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new?
I don't really care one way or the other, honestly. Like, I like when it looks new, but then if I'm reading it, especially like a paperback, I like to...
Me too.
Stretch it a little bit,
yeah,
so it kind of like lays more flat. And then when I look at it, I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
So I don't really care.
Me, yeah, ditto.
I just want to read. Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Number 11, do you write in your books? No. Okay, I watched a video about annotating your books.
It was by Ariel Bissett.
Yes, and it was so good.
It was very good.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I haven't.
After I watched that video,
yeah,
I annotated The Great Gatsby.
I'm not opposed to it after watching that video. I have always been that person like, you don't dog ear it, you don't write in it, you don't rip a page out. I mean, which is, of course, nobody would do that. But I was always one of those that like, no way. But when she explained it about like, when my books go on to someone else, like, it's my books and my thoughts on it. Especially, I thought it was really cute, the one where her and her friend, he had annotated it, and then she did too, and she could, like, find his little funny things. And I want to do it, but then I've not also really read any books that have made me want to.
I understand that.
Yeah, so.
We'll link that video down below. It's really good.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah. 12. Who do you tag? Wow, this is over already.
That was really quick.
Yeah, it was. We
have 4 people we would like to tag. The first one being Cheyenne from Novel Insights.
We would also like to tag Jessica from Priceiswong.
And Allie from Hardback Hoarder.
As well as Andrea from The Overstuffed Bookcase.
And that's it. So
we did it. Come be our friends. I'm Jess Gameoftomesbyjc on Twitter.
I'm Christeena, GOT.
And I hope you're reading a good book.
Bye.
Bye. It's red.
It is.
With the blood of your enemies.
It is.
What's it taste like? Is it hot?
Okay. No, it's just lukewarm. It's really sweet. Not like overly sweet. It's like watered down sweet. Doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be like orange, passion fruit, petals of a hibiscus flower or something like that.
Ew.
I don't remember.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. What's the music?
Smooth book jazz.
Twinsies!
Yeah!
I said that when we held up our Brave New World books, too.
Yeah, you did.
It was cute. Okay.
Memories.
Number 1. Memories. It was last week! This is going to be a lot to edit.